Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about the lunar eclipse on 29th, 30th of November. This is almost a worldwide eclipse. Wherever it's nighttime, the eclipse will be visible. This is the fourth lunar eclipse of 2020. So we are really emotionally wrung out by the end of this 2020 season, and this is the second eclipse in Taurus. So, how does it affect us? What can we look for? Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking about the lunar eclipse. And do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. I am going to be talking about the solar eclipse as well as other aspects of 2021 to follow, so you don't want to miss anything. So, the eclipses never come alone. Lunar eclipse is accompanied by a solar eclipse. Sometimes 15 days before the solar eclipse or 15 days after a solar eclipse is the lunar eclipse. This year in 2020, we had eclipse in January, then two eclipses, one after the other in June and July, and now the last eclipse of 2020, the lunar eclipse of 2020, is on 30th of November, most of the world, but like where I am in California and USA, it will be visible just before midnight. So 29th midnight, and will the maximum eclipse. So the earlier part of the eclipse will be visible here in California, but mostly in the rest of the world, it will be visible on the 30th. Now, who is going to experience the eclipse? North and South America, part of Europe, not all, but UK and Spain and the northern part of Europe, it will be visible. It will be visible in Asia, all of Asia, Japan, China, Vietnam, Singapore, India, it will be visible, but only the northern half of India, it will be visible. It's not visible in Africa. South America, it will be visible. And so it's a kind of a global impact eclipse. And eclipse is at 14 degrees of Taurus. And it's a lunar eclipse. So usually the lunar eclipse takes place, or not usually, always the lunar eclipse takes place at full moon. So this is full moon in Taurus, and the solar eclipse will be at new moon in Scorpio. So full moon in Taurus, of course, usually when moon goes once a month in Taurus, we are quite enjoying that experience. And full moon in Taurus is always celebrated as a special festival time as well. However, Rahu is there. So when Rahu is there, it is causing the eclipse, and therefore it is causing a lot of emotional turmoil for everybody. All of us will feel part of it because the emotions are very heightened during lunar eclipse. And remember, this is the fourth lunar eclipse. Normally in a year, we get two lunar eclipses. This year, in keeping with the more difficult 2020, we have four lunar eclipses, and this is really going to be quite emotional. So do remember to be aware of it, and also to take some balancing action. Usually it is not a good idea to do major things around the eclipse. You don't want to travel or start any new projects, or have a party, meet people, especially around this pandemic time. It's best to socially distance and be very careful around this eclipse time, and also careful how you feel emotionally. Argument or difficulty, this is not a good idea for it. In this eclipse, the only other planet than Sun and Moon that is involved is Mercury. Mercury is in Scorpio, but it's part of the eclipses. So our thinking planets are both in the eclipses, Mercury and Moon. So therefore, the mind is unsettled. So normally, it's a good idea to wait. By next day, the eclipse is over, and we can feel more harmonious. And even those places where the eclipse is not visible, you will see part of this energy, and so you will see how it affects you. Keep the day simple. I think that is the best thing. And of course, if you are Taurus, you have Taurus sun or moon or ascendant, then this is an intense eclipse for you, more than somebody else. But as I said, all of us will feel some part of it. So how does it affect you? And remember, you want to study from your moon sign and your sun sign. And also another thing to keep in mind is that it is one of the other energies. In your chart, you have to see what dasha you're in, what other transits are taking place. But this is an unsettled transit. And whatever area it is, it can bring unexpected events. And the moon eclipse, lunar eclipse, usually reveals its hand immediately. So it's not like it'll wait for some time before selling. Whatever energies to be happen in a day or two, or maximum in a month after the lunar eclipse. So the first most important thing is that how it affects you. So Aries, this eclipse is in Taurus, second house, house of money, finances. So to be careful about it. Your Lagna Lord is not involved in it. Moon Lord is not involved in it. But it's highlighting that area. So be cautious, careful. Taurus, of course, you are the one who's experiencing the eclipse. And the eclipses in June, you will get a solar eclipse in Taurus, and then December, again, a lunar eclipse. So the fact is that this is the second lunar eclipse in Taurus. The first one was in June. So it is important, especially not to make any decisions, to stay calm. One good thing is that Venus, your ruling planet, is not involved in this eclipse. It will be involved in the solar eclipse. So watch for that recording too. But calm, careful, not over pressurizing yourself. Gemini, the eclipse is in your 12th house, house of expenses, money. These days, not much foreign travel is happening, but you have to be careful, tight on your expenses. It's a good time to do something spiritual. Mercury is also involved in the eclipses, so you are not in a total harmonious energy, and best to pass this time. Cancer, of course, for Cancer, all the eclipses, the moon is involved in all the eclipses. Moon is involved in the solar and the lunar eclipse. This eclipse is in the 11th house. It's quite a good position. Rahu transiting the 11th house can give a lot of money, finances. But the eclipse, we don't know how the eclipse is going to manifest. So I would say don't make any major decisions around the time of the eclipse. Take care at that particular time, and wait for this, what I call the eclipse season, this particular end of the year season, before you decide what you want to do. Leo, the eclipse is in the 10th house of your career, opportunities, and future. And the eclipse is giving unexpected change for you. Because you are having the eclipse, Leo, the eclipses are in 10th house and 4th house, and lunar eclipses in your 4th house. And as a fixed sign, you don't like change, but it can bring change for you. And be flexible. Try to see beyond something. Don't try to hold on to things that are no longer important. Virgo, the eclipse is in the 9th house. 9th house is house of the guru, advisor. Definitely around the lunar eclipse, don't take advice, even your own inner advice. Wait till the eclipse season is over and then decide, because Mercury is also involved in the eclipses and your ruling planet and the ninth house. It can also be some disagreement with father, people in authority or mentors. So if you feel that, wait till the energy calms down. Libra, the eclipse is in eighth house for you. Uh, Eighth house is house of change, unexpected transformation. Also, eighth house is connected to your partner or spouse's finances. So the eclipse can bring out some information that is not very pleasant or some unexpected quality, especially eighth house is change and unexpected things. So we can't plan for it. And not always the event can happen, but it can be a trigger. So if a trigger takes place, then just be conscious and don't pre-plan something. If you are thinking about making some changes, wait till after the eclipses to decide. Scorpio, the eclipse is in the seventh house of marriage and relationship. So marriage gets highlighted. That is an unsettled energy. There can be some issues that come out that you need to work with. You need to, decide what you want to do. Not the easiest time for you because the eclipse also in the ascendant. So you're going through some kind of transition. The solar eclipse is in the ascendant or moon sign, and the lunar eclipse is in the seventh house. So easy, calm, wait for the eclipse to happen. After that, make any decisions if you want to. Sagittarius, the eclipse is in your sixth house. Generally, sixth house is the house of opposition, obstacles. And so if the eclipse, the eclipses are strange energies, they can throw up some situation totally unexpectedly. And knowledge of it means that you should understand why this is happening and wait for it, for the disruption to calm down, because it will calm down in a day or two, and then make the decision of what you want to do, where you want to go. Capricorn, the eclipse is in the fifth house of children, creativity, and ideas. And so there can be some things coming out with children. Fifth house is also Purva Punya, past life good luck. And so you can feel that your luck is blocked. Rahu in the fifth house is always worried that will I get what I deserve. And Rahu and moon combination, and this eclipse is not the best time to think those thoughts. I would say it is best to allow this energy to pass. Aquarius, the eclipse is in the fourth house. Fourth house is home, happiness. And the eclipse is showing to me that, you are thinking about where you want to live. There may be a sudden change of where you are thinking you want to live, because you see, this is not an eclipse on its own. There's going to be another eclipse, a solar eclipse in June, and then in December again. That means that overall planning, there's going to be some change for you. It could be also change that you're redecorating your home and doing something to it, but definitely not to start anything during the eclipse timing. And Pisces, you are, of course, eclipse in the third house of action, and the moon will encourage you in the third house with Rahu. I should take some action. I should do something. It can also indicate some fractured communication with people. You may forget appointments, or you may find that, people are not listening to what you're saying. So gently goes it. And normally even myself, with the eclipses, I try to avoid doing consultation on the eclipse day. I try to avoid pressurizing myself. So all of you who are experiencing the eclipse, and remember that the world is experiencing it together. So we are all experiencing it together. And you can see sometimes in more political things, some scandal can break, some information comes out that you were not expecting around the lunar eclipse time. So that is it. Do remember to subscribe, and thanks again for your support and well wishes.